Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, welcoming you on this 24th day of October 2022. It's a Monday, and let's start the week fresh and rested and hopeful. Okay. There will be a few annoyance that may come to you this week or this day, but ignore them. Just look forward to the good things and the happy things in life. I've already had my share this morning, but let's just let it pass. Anyway, it's a Monday, and let's start our day with the daily starter from Dr. Mark Hyman, a functional medicine physician in the US. And it goes, health isn't about losing a few pounds or about the absence of chronic disease. It's about feeling good, showing up, and giving your highest gifts to the world. Okay. And that's from Dr. Mark Hyman. And just to emphasize that, just remember, a lot of people they get into exercise, they're fit, they eat all the right stuff, but then at the end of the day, if we don't really perform as people expect from us, we don't do our best, or we just don't contribute to the betterment of our environment, our community, then, as they say, it's not a healthy attitude. Health is not just a physical thing, it's also the attitude and also performance. Okay, now let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star and let's look at the headlines. Very strange headline today, October 24, 2022, and it reads, Lapid murder case solved, according to a PNP executive. Okay. While investigators continue digging deeper into the Percy Lapid murder to unmask the mastermind, a police official involved in the probe said yesterday that he already considered the case closed. This is according to Brigadier General Kirby Kraft of the Southern Police District. He is the SPD director who frequently gives interviews to the media, particularly to the radio, and especially regarding the Percy Lapid case. Just a point of observation, until the mastermind is exposed and is arrested, the case is not solved. Huwag niyo pong gamitin yan pang press release. Enough said, okay? And at the top of the front page, we have China's Xi Jinping secures historic third term, defying the tradition of a maximum of 2 terms or 10 years in power. Xi Jinping has shown his power and influence by making the Communist Party of China appoint him yet again as head of the party, and so he will once more be the boss in China for the next 5 years, and others say he probably intends to stay in power for life, depending on how long that life may be in years or in senility. Below the header, we have that huge photo of a tourist swimming in the waters of Kauhagan Island in Siargao. Okay, this is in connection with the call or the invitation of President Bongbong Marcos urging Filipinos visit tourist sites during All Souls and All Saints Day, during Undas. Okay, and please be careful lang, baka mamaya kayo ay mamasyal, kumain kayo doon sa mga ano ba yon, dining in the sea, like that place somewhere in the Visayas ba, where they ended up paying thousands and thousands of pesos for a buffet lunch or a special lunch. Okay, alamin ang presyo bago lumamon. Okay, below the big photo, we have BBM vows to improve sugar industry during his visit in Talisay City in Negros. Okay. President Bongbong Marcos said that his administration will take the necessary steps to solve the problems of the sugar industry, although he did not say what exactly those problems were and what exactly the solutions would be. Okay, yan po ay nagiging pattern na ni BBM that he gives statements but lacking in detail. So medyo napapansin na po yan ng media and the public. The center photo of the Philippine Star is a photo of the Manila South Cemetery yesterday ahead of the observance of All Saints Day. Naglilinis na, people are cleaning up the tombs, cemeteries. Please be careful because COVID is still on the rise. And in connection to that, the Okta Research Group said that XBB subvariant linked to COVID spike in NCR. Okay, yan pong if we can just change the image there. Anyway, Okta Research Group said yesterday that they suspect, according to Okta fellow Guido David, they suspect that the subvariant XBB could be responsible for all the surge or increase in COVID cases in hospitals in the National Capital Region. Yun po ang problema because apparently they are not testing as many cases as they used to. So it is only now that because the suspicion is really strong that the cases may be tested. Sad news among the DOH officials, okay? Ex-PNP chief, okay, was named DOH Undersecretary. Okay, former PNP chief of 3 months, Camilo Cascolan, has been appointed as Undersecretary of the Department of Health to the annoyance of healthcare workers and calling it an insult to them, okay, and to health workers. Ayan, bahala na po kayo dyan dahil talagang ganyan lang ang buhay politika sa Pilipinas. Okay, let's go to better news. We have the photo at the right bottom part of the Philippine Star featuring Quezon City Mayor Joey Belmonte sitting beside London Mayor Sadiq Khan during the C40 World Mayor Summit in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where all the world mayors gathered and pushed for the creation of 50 million good green jobs globally by the end of the decade. So sana magkatotoo. Meanwhile, at photo on the left side of the Philippine Star, AutoNation Group, the general distributor of Daimler trucks in the Philippines, holds a ceremonial signing for the Mercedes-Benz authorized facility for commercial vehicle after-sales service and spare parts at the Manila Gulf. Okay, in the photos are Frankie Ang, Felix Ang, M. Subic Transportation Chairman Edgar Aglipay, Emeline Villar, and Ricky Delgado of Citadel Pacific Limited. Last two pieces of information of news. New LPA threatens Luzon and Eastern Visayas. A new low pressure area expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility either afternoon of Tuesday or Wednesday. Maghanda na po kayo sa mga tatamaan, Luzon and Eastern Visayas. Meanwhile, last piece of news, and this is sad news. Please, 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 if you are one of these parents, kung may kilala kayo na magulang ng ganitong mga bata, pakikulit nyo lang, okay? The UNICEF has announced that 1 million Filipino children never had vaccination in all their short lives, okay? 1 million Pinoy kids never had childhood vaccines. This is so sad because while yung iba ay natatakot, tinatamad, o medyo hindi alam ang ginagawa, yung mga bata pwedeng magka-polio, pwedeng magkatigdas, pwedeng maging lumpo, pilay, bulag, at siraang ang muka dahil hindi natin napabakunahan. Please, please, please invest or go. Yung marami namang hospital libre. Ano pa ba iniintay ninyo? Okay, that's all the news we have. Not such a pleasant front page rundown, but that's the news, and we read the news from the Philippine Star. Please read the contents online, or better yet, buy a newspaper. Give jobs to the newsboy and the news distributors. Okay, we'll now go for a quick break. And after the break, magdadala po tayo ng artistang imported. Okay, we are going to interview a very interesting person, not just an actress, but someone that Filipinos should be proud of. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda, and I'm still your host, Cito Beltran. Hindi po tayo lalaking nawawala sa sarili o namamangka o tumutuwid sa dalawang tulay. But today, I will be facing a challenge because I will be interviewing an accomplished actress who has quite a list of movies to her credit and appearances, but it's quite a challenge to try to get material on someone who is in a foreign country and the movie hasn't been released, but everybody is already talking about the movie and saying, "Naku po, mukhang ano siya, mukhang magiging nominee siya for an Oscar award for etc. etc." But before I get ahead of myself, let's properly introduce our guest with this video.
Dolly De Leon is an award-winning film, television, and theater actress. She studied theater in the University of the Philippines Diliman under the mentorship of the late national artist for theater, Tony Mabesa. De Leon appeared as a bit player in various hit TV shows and films. But her immense talent was finally recognized when she won the famous award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the film Verdict in 2020. This year, De Leon snatched the attention of the international audience for her role as Abigail in the satirical black comedy film Triangle of Sadness, which won the top prize at the prestigious Cannes Film Festival.
Okay, without further ado, Ms. Dolly De Leon, welcome to the program. Whereabouts are you?
Hi, Cito. Thank you. I am in Half Moon Bay, which is like a 2-hour drive away from Oakland. Doon ako nagsistay sa bahay ng kapatid ko, ng kuya ko sa Oakland. So I'm on vacation. I've been here for like a week already. And going back into the, to the crazy world of showbiz in another week.
I don't know. I don't know. Crazy world of showbiz. Back here at home, I don't know if you've heard from the news. The movie industry and TV, they're all feuding with the senator. And also an actor, Jingo Estrada, who is calling for the banning of K-dramas, etc. But while all of that's happening here, you are scoring points, grabbing attention, getting attention. Tawag nila sa'yo, scene stealer ka raw eh.
Siguro kayo na yung makakapaghusga nun pag pinanood nyo yung pelikula. Malalaman natin. Pero yun nga ang sinasabi nila, ang sarap ng feeling na yun ang tingin nila at ang sarap na feeling na finally after so many years of really struggling in this industry, may nakakapansin sa efforts natin dito sa industriyang ito. So, I hope you can watch it so that you can judge for yourself kung ano ba talaga, scene stealer nga ba o ano ba, overrated lang ba ako or what?
Yeah, the movie is the Triangle of Sadness. But before we get into the Triangle of Sadness, let's go through your personal history. We already mentioned in the intro that you were a student, tama ba yung protege of Tony Mabesa from the UP theater days. And those were the great days. Those were the days when training was really training at hindi glitz and glamour before the talent.
Totoo yan. There's nothing glamorous at all about being an actor, especially in theater. And yung background ko in theater, talagang pahirapan yun. Talagang blood, sweat, and tears. Yung tipong umiiyak kami araw-araw. Pero tinitiis namin dahil mahal namin yung craft eh. So yeah, I've learned a lot about discipline in Dulaang UP. We were taught about being prompt, being on time, waking up early and studying our lines, studying the script. We were always being scolded at not coming to to the theater if we're not prepared and we don't know our lines. Maaga pa lang in the rehearsal, kailangan drop scripts na. Drop scripts meaning memorize na dapat namin lahat ng linya. So dala-dala ko yan until now. It's like a huge part of my, you know, my makeup as an actor and as a human being in everything I do. Yung discipline ni Tony Mabesa at ni Jose Estrella also who honed us into, you know, professional actors.
Okay, having said that, is your background, your training, strictly all about, you know, the UP theater days, or did you have to pursue other trainings after UP?
I did do one play with Tanghalang Pilipino, which is the theater group of the CCP. I did that. I also did some work for smaller theater groups, but most of my formal training is really with Dulaang UP and doing television and film and acting with, you know, under the tutelage of many different filmmakers. So I would say na yung experience as an actor is more of through experience of actually working with different filmmakers and directors and actors. So, yung formal training ko nung college lang talaga, although now I'm really, you know, I want to learn more about the different schools of acting, and I want to learn, for example, there's a school of acting that's called Meisner. I want to learn that under Anjali Bayani, who's a very, very good theater actor, one of those I respect a lot in the industry, and I'm hoping to learn more from her and learn about other schools of acting.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear because I mean, people are already saying, nako, baka manalo ito ng Oscar. Nako, nasa Cannes Film Festival. Si Princess Punsalan nga araw-araw sinasama ko sa dasal ko na baka abot ng Cannes Film. Ikaw nasa Cannes Film na raw kayo. And then you're talking about, you know, further studies, further training.
Yes. I don't think the learning ever ends with acting or with any profession. I mean, I'm sure you still do a lot of reading and learning about the world because, you know, you're a journalist. So that's also part of, I think, the training of an actor is to constantly search for better ways of working. So the learning really never ends. And speaking of Miss Princess Punsalan, I think that, you know, she really left a mark with the Filipino audience because people actually believed that she was an evil woman when she was portraying this. Diba? Nung nagkokontrabida siya, akala nila masama siyang tao in real life. And for me, yun ang epitome ng good acting. Kasi para maloko niya lahat ng tao na masama talaga siya. And I hear she's back. She's back to acting. So, yeah. Well, you know, I hope that dahil nakapasok tayo sa Cannes, I'm opening doors for other actors. Nagkataon lang nung panahon ni Miss Princess, hindi pa masyado tayong out in the open, tayong mga Pinoy. Pero ngayon, medyo mas may exposure na tayo mas na-appreciate na yung talents natin. So sana tuloy-tuloy.
You've had a series, marami ka ring nagawang pelikula, and did all of that help in getting you the job you have right now? Because, or I mean, project, hindi pala job, sorry, no? Iba yung terminologies na mundo natin, no? Yeah. You reportedly did a cold audition, meaning wala kang agent, walang nag-book or talent scout or whatever, you just went and auditioned. Did you have to show them your list of work, or paano mo nagawa yan for the Triangle of Sadness?
Alam mo, actually, Cito, wala. Hindi sila humingi ng resume, wala silang hiningi ng experience, talagang based on audition lang. And tama kayo It's, you know, everything that we do in our lives on the daily leads us eventually to the goal, to the end goal. Which is to do what we really want to do and to do what makes us happy. And I think that that's eventually what led me to that day when I auditioned. It was my experience, all those years of training and acting, walang tigil, yung tanggap lang ng kahit na anong trabaho, tanggap lang kahit na anong soap, kahit anong pelikula. Kasi dun tayo natututo by doing and doing Di ba nga, if we're just dormant and not doing anything, we'll never learn. Pero dahil talagang kayod kalabaw lang talaga akong kayod kalabaw. Pagdating doon, parang it was the perfect time na it was timely na natanggap ko yun kasi parang ang dami ko ng naipon na experiences tsaka ang dami ko nang natutunan sa sarili ko bilang actor.
Okay, how did you end up doing or going for the audition? Kasi context na lang, okay, let's you've been doing films in the Philippines. Did you migrate abroad? Did you just happen to be a tourist? And or did you purposely go from the Philippines to wherever the film was auditioning? Could you tell us the story?
No, actually, I've always been based in the Philippines. I was born and raised here, and I auditioned in the Philippines because the Swedish director sent his casting director to the Philippines to hold auditions. And I got word about the audition from a fellow actor, Jake Macapagal, who they commissioned to get in touch with a lot of other actresses to audition for the part. So I really got it with no manager, no agent, nothing, and based in the Philippines. So alam mo, ang mga pangarap natin, madali lang natin makamit kahit sa sarili nating bayan Kailangan lang talaga matyaga tayo at magpursige at hindi naman sa hintayin, pero parang magtiyaga tayong nadadating din isang araw yung opportunity na yun nangyari sa akin.
When did this exactly happen? Kasi COVID, many actors, actresses, sorry, walang buhay, hanap buhay, etc.
Yes, alam mo nangyari to 2018, pre-pandemic pa. So 2018 pa lang nag-audition na ako. Pero naghintay ako ng isang buong taon to actually hindi, naghintay ako 2 taon after I got the part before we actually started filming. And then after filming in 2020, which was 2 years after my audition, I had to wait another year for the film to come out. So this is actually really 4 years in the making.
Okay, 4 years in the making. So, paano na I assume marami kang ipon, mayaman ka, milyonarya ka because ang dami kong kilalang artista na medyo ang tawag nila sa sarili na patay na, gutom pa.
Nako, hindi po. Starving artist po ako. As in, sobrang starving artist. Actually, yung can trip na yon, hindi ko pera yon. Binayaran yon ng FDCP. Binayaran ng co-production, which was our production company from Sweden, and some fellow artists in the industry who are very known names in the industry who helped me. They provided financial support to make sure I could fly there. So, hindi po, nako Cito, ako ay starving artist. Talaga, mahirap lang po ako. Kaya lang ako nasa Amerika dahil binayaran ng distributor namin yung biyahe ko dito para ma-promote namin yung pelikula. Wala akong ginagastos dito.
Magaling ako sa promotion, ha? Baka kailangan niya.
Sasabihin ko sa kanila.
Anyway, Dolly. Yeah. Okay. So it was a 4-year waiting period, 4-year journey. But when you saw did they even show you a script when you auditioned? Pakikwento mo nga yung audition kasi ang dami ko nang I've been really watching a lot of documentary, a lot of talk shows in the US and in Europe. And when stars, international stars talk about audition, bali wala pala yung kahit na 3 Oscar awards ka na, pipila at pipila ka pa rin to audition. Even Lea Salonga was telling us in our interview that she had to audition just like everybody else. Now, when you auditioned here in the Philippines, were you ever in a room full of, teka, liga ko ba ito? O may karapatan ba ako makipagsabayan dito? Parang sa sabong, namimili kami ng kalaban.
Actually, nagkataon lang nung araw na nag-audition ako, konti lang yung naghihintay, konti lang yung tao. So, meron lang akong nasalubong na isang actress dahil katatapos lang niya, papasok pa lang ako. So yun, nung araw na yun, nagkataon na ako lang yung mag-isa. Pero ang balita ko, marami kaming nag-audition. Oo, pero alam ko, medyo cutthroat rin yung audition na yun kasi Ruben Ostlund film to So medyo, alam mo na, parang this is every actor's dream to work with a director like him.
Why
And
is, pasensya ka na, alam mo naman, igno na ako, may
okay lang
dugong
yun.
hippopotamus pa.
Okay lang yun. Hindi kasi si Ruben Ostlund, nanalo na siya ng Palme d'Or noong 2014 for his film na The Square. So, he's known as a film auteur. Kumbaga, isa siya sa mga parang matunog na pangalan sa industriya. So, parang pag artista ka, parang big deal yun. Kasi if you're an actor, you wanna really work with the best of the best. And I already knew, I had an idea na, well, I knew that he was a big name in the film industry. And when Jake got in touch with me, he told me, oh my gosh, Dali, si Ruben Ostlund magpapa-audition sa Pilipinas. Parang, kailangan mo pumunta. Yung ganun ka-big deal talaga. So, oo, ano yun talaga. Parang sabi ko, kailangan ko talaga makuha tong part na to. Yung ganung level.
Okay, it was a cutthroat audition
Yeah.
for internationally acclaimed and award-winning movie director. But, there are scripts that even the greatest, the most sought-after actors and actresses, one reading and said, nope, not for me. Ikaw, did you even bother to read the script or kahit na ano pa yung role na yan, tatanggapin ko yan?
Actually, the latter. Ako talaga nung time na yun, kahit na anong role, tatanggapin ko yan. And nung time, and at the same time, nung time na nalaman ko na may audition, wala akong script. Hindi nila kami binigyan ng script kasi confidential pa siya. So, ang natanggap ko, sides na tinatawag. Sides means yung mga eksena sa pelikula na nandun ako. So, alam ko lang yung parang synopsis ng pelikula at saka yung sides. That's all I had with me.
Okay.
And it wasn't like I was in a position to choose my roles. Na parang for me, kahit na anong trabaho, willing akong gawin, more so kung Ruben Ostlund. So it's not like na parang I was choosing scripts or it wasn't like that. It was like, eto, may director, naghahanap siya ng artistang Pinay. Kung gusto mo mag-audition ka, ako talaga, go! Kahit ano pa yung storya nun, Cito, gagawin ko. Pero surprisingly enough, when I finally got the script and I got the part, it was a bonus because it was a really good script and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the character I was to play, which was Abigail, an overseas Filipino worker. So, parang everything fell into place na rin. Parang blessing na rin sa akin na nagkataon. Maganda rin yung script that I was auditioning for, even if I found out what it was later on na.
Okay, so you really didn't have an idea of what the whole script was or the role was. Parang may pangalan lang, may eksena.
Yes.
Okay, what was the scene that you did? Did you do readings first or talagang ano na? Sige, ito eksena, these are your lines, go, show us.
I didn't do readings. I did just an audition, literally. As in, may camera, tas may yung casting director, siya yung ka-eksena ko. She played the other character in the scene and we did the scene together. And then, ang readings, kumbaga, ang ginawa namin workshop with the director, but that was after I got the part already. Kumbaga, nakuha ko na yung role and then I had to fly to Sweden to shoot. Pero before shooting, nag-workshop kami ng director. So, siya yung gumanap na ka-eksena ko na doon ko na talaga na flesh out, kumbaga, yung character. Nung nagkita na kami ni Ruben Ostlund, months after, no, actually not even months, a year after I got the part. So it was really it was a very non-traditional way of working on a film. Nothing traditional about it at all.
Non-traditional in the sense that the director was eccentric, non-traditional because the timelines were really bizarre because of COVID, etc. Why was it non-traditional?
The timelines were bizarre because of COVID, one. And two is normally when you work on a film set, nagre-reading kayo tama kasi to. You sit down together with the entire cast and you do a table reading na tinatawag. But we didn't have that because of COVID. We couldn't really get together and sit down and meet. The shoot was canceled so many times. Umabot nga ng 1 year bago kami nag-shoot. And then when finally nagkatugma-tugma yung schedule and because of COVID, ang nangyari, pinauna niya yung dalawang lead actors to start filming and then I followed. So a reading never happened. I met Ruben on my first day of shooting, which is unheard of. Kasi normally you meet the director, you sit down with them and whatever, nag-uusap kayo, walang ganon. I met him in Skype. That was the first time I met him virtually, and then in person on the actual filming day na of my first day. So kaya siya unusual kasi hindi siya traditional way of filming dahil nga sa COVID.
Yeah. Now, generally, and hindi ako nagmamarunong, Dali, this is just impression of a viewer. Generally, directors, producers, the production itself focuses on the main or the principal characters. Kumbaga, sila yung bida, yung kwento is all about them, so all the focus is on them. And then, you get to meet the director on the first day of filming. You only got to see him during Skype. Was this because, and I don't mean to, to offend, no? Parang I'm trying to understand how they're doing things.
Sure.
Was this because your role was minimal or a very short part? Kasi parang based on what I've read and what I saw, parang hindi naman. Kasi parang at the end of the day, ikaw yung naging bida eh.
Actually, ang system kasi ni Ruben Ostlund is first of all, ang number one sa kanya is casting. So when he casts the actors, he knows that the actors will deliver. So that means that table readings are not very important because he places too much stock on the capacity of the actors to deliver. So for him, kung alam niyang kayang-kaya ng artista i-deliver yung acting na hinihingi niya, hindi talaga niya kailangan humingi ng table reading. Actually, silang lahat, kahit yung leads, hindi nag-table reading. And the way he treated all of us in terms of filming, sa filming process, he treated all of us like we were leads, actually. He didn't give any preferential treatment to the two leads. He did not treat, invest more time on the lead actors. Pantay-pantay yung ininvest niya na
Walang totem pole. Walang hierarchy. Very
Walang
European.
hierarchy. Wala. Kahit yung pinakamaliit na role sa pelikula namin, binigyan niya ng equal importance. And I think that's the brilliance and the genius of Ruben Ostlund. He sees that a film process takes collaboration and teamwork among individuals and honing that all together into one cohesive work. Ang problema kasi minsan sa mga ibang filmmakers, masyado silang nag-i-invest or binibigyan ng importansya yung mga bida na hindi dapat. Kasi kung tutuusin, ang isang kwento ay hindi lang tungkol sa mga bida, di ba? Tungkol yun sa lahat ng mga makikita mo sa screen and sa contribution ng crew and ng staff. And I think that's why this film is doing really well, and that's why it's getting the recognition that it's getting because of the way we were driven and the way we were captained by our director.
And that makes perfect sense because I know of so many films where the lead actors did not even hit home, did not score the points, pero yung supporting actor, yung walk-in cameo, yun pa yung natandaan ng mga viewers.
Exactly. Kasi minsan yung mga filmmakers, masyado silang nagpo-focus sa bida na naiiwanan na yung ibang characters na akala nila dahil big name itong bida na to, kailangan i-highlight siya ng sobra na tuloy yung backstory at yung ibang mga artista na papabayaan. Si Ruben hindi siya ganun. Lahat binibigyan niya ng 100% attention kasi ang objective niya is to bring out the truth in the story.
Okay, let's go for a quick break, Dolly, and when we come back, let's go to the story itself because you said it's a story about an OFW. From what I read, parang bathroom manager or toilet manager, yung ginamit na term, etc. Tell us what was your reaction when, in terms of, I'm going to portray an OFW story na naman kasi parang ang lumalabas lang ng mga story sa pelikula about Filipinos is either OFW or LGBTQ. So anyway, let's go for a quick break. When we return, let's pick it up from there. We'll be right back here on Agenda. in the movie is Abigail, a person whose designation was the toilet manager, ends up on a cruise ship that goes on an ill-fated journey and ends up equalizing the rich and the commoner on an island. And her famous line that I remember, "This is bad." Okay, with us is actress Dolly De Leon. Dolly, was it good or was it bad?
Oh, it was so good. It was one of the best filming experiences of my life. And a little trivia rin, Abigail means manservant or servant of man. So, if you put any meaning in a reading into her name, that kind of spells out what her character is all about. And I love your question before we went on the break. You asked what makes that people normally play, especially Filipinos, OFWs, lagi ang role. And actually, okay lang yun. Kasi marami sa atin ng OFWs eh. I mean, and
Mhm.
And there are a lot of, we're 1.7 million, nalaman ko lang recently. But the thing about Abigail is she's a very special kind of OFW. She's a kind of OFW who knows how to put people in their place. She is a woman of power, even if she is in a place where she has not much of a privilege. And I think that she's very inspiring and very empowering especially for our OFWs who are working abroad, that they can, pick up some kind of inspiration from her, that, she was able to turn the tables around this social hierarchy where the rich and the beautiful are running how society is working, but she's very special, very courageous. So, kakaiba siyang OFW.
Okay, now since we're already on the subject matter, there's this issue kasi here back in the Philippines regarding can't we write about other topics or put Filipinos in a good light, etc. And Dolly, I gave it serious thought. Sabi ko,
Yes.
if I were the script writer, if I had to do a story, or if I were the producer director, can I come up with a better story? And judging from what comes out here in the Philippines, puro sampalan, sabunutan, iyakan at kahirapan. And I said, why can't we feature the lives of these kids who went to college, who drinks frappe, spends their parents' money, etc. Di ba? Yung ganon. Parang, what's your take on all of this? Are there other subject matters na sa alam mo, papatulan naman ng Pilipino, pero
Oh my
we
gosh.
always think or talk masa?
I think that the Filipino audience is really hungry to watch more diverse stories about us. And tama ka, to watch stories about spoiled little kids, to watch stories about single parents, probably, to watch people who are going through, real life struggles being a Filipino. Yung pagka-OFW kasi ni Abigail, kakaiba eh. So, exciting rin panoorin yung storya niya. Pero tama ka. But the good thing about Triangle of Sadness, there is none of that. There is no sampalan. There is no yung iniisip nating the usual Pinoy drama of sigawan
But
or
did you have
iyakan.
but did you have to study or did you have to do case studies? Kasi I know I've heard of several international actors who literally went to Africa, who lived as a homeless person, or who
Yes.
mingled with prostitutes to get the mindset, no? In your case as Abigail, kasi syempre artista ka sa Pinas. Ma'am Dolly ang tawag sa'yo sa Pilipinas. Tapos biglang to act as an OFW, it's a different mindset.
I know what you mean. I think that the reason why these actors do extensive research is because the characters they play are so far away from who they really are in real life. The difference between them and the characters they play and Abigail is that Abigail is actually very close to my heart because I'm very much exposed to OFWs. I have friends who are OFWs. I have relatives who are OFWs. My mother was an OFW. My ex-mother-in-law was an OFW. Still is an OFW, and I'm very familiar with their plight. I know what they're going through. I'm mostly on the receiving end of a person who is an OFW, but I would say na witness ko yung buhay nila eh. Kasi dumalaw ako sa kanila, I lived with them, I spent some time with them, some vacation time with them, and I was able to see how they really live. So, as far as research, I didn't need to do that. Kasi part na yan ng buhay ko eh. Paano kumbaga, Cito, ikaw, if you were asked to play a journalist, would you need to research? Hindi na eh.
I wouldn't
Buhay
take
mo
the
na yun.
role.
Because you're just playing yourself.
No, seriously. I mean, I was offered by one of our friends that I went to school with. I won't mention his name kasi pinangako niyang sasama niya ako sa pelikula, baka mag-guilty eh. No, but I said, look, if I'm just gonna play the role of a journalist, what's new? Where's the challenge? Do you ever find yourself, I mean, in that context, you don't have to immerse yourself among OFWs because you are part of that community. Maybe not directly an OFW, but a beneficiary, a relation of several OFWs. But do you ever find yourself in that context na there is no challenge to this role or this personality? No. I don't want to do this. Nagkaroon ka na bang ganung pelikula?
Never. No. To me, every character I play is a challenge. No matter how close they are to me or no matter how far away they are from me in terms of character and personality. Because all human conditions are unique. Everything we go through is unique. It will never be easy. Acting is never an easy job. Even if, let's say, I'm playing a mother of 4, which I am, who is a struggling actor, which I am, a Filipina, middle-aged woman, which I am, challenge pa rin yun para sa akin because we're always dealing with real human conditions who are going through a very different path than we normally are. So, no, to me, acting is always a challenge regardless of the part I'm playing, no matter how big or small.
So there is no role you will say no to?
Before. Dati. Pero ngayon, meron na. Oo,
ano
ngayon
na? Okay, tell me.
Ngayon, mas mapili na ako. Siyempre, definitely, ayoko na mag-OFW only because ginawa ko na.
Okay.
So, siyempre, para maiba naman. Pangalawa, ayoko na mag-abogado dahil lagi akong nag-aabogado dati before Triangle of Sadness. Lagi akong doktor, lagi akong psychiatrist, teacher, ganyan. So, definitely, ayoko na yung mga ganong role. Pero now I'm really more open to playing characters I've never played before. Maybe, I don't know. Siguro, fisher folk.
What?
Fisher folk. Siguro, mangingisda. Yun, I'm open to playing that. Or a donya na super yaman. Oh, I've never really played that. So, there are a million stories to tell.
Okay, and I'm sure that you watch a lot of movies or no?
I do. I love watching movies.
Have you watched the series Afterlife?
Yes. I love Ricky Gervais.
Okay, to those who are not familiar, be careful before watching this series because if you are not mentally strong, it will mess you up. Okay, but Dolly, you have a gamut of characters, portrayals, bizarre individuals. What, to your recollection, was the most bizarre role that you ever portrayed?
Bizarre. Oh my gosh, bizarre. Does playing a Carabao count as being bizarre? I played a Carabao.
Playing a Carabao?
A cow. A milking cow. As in, mascot ako sa loob ng isang baka. Tapos ako yung nasa may likuran ng baka. Dalawa kami eh. Yung isa nasa may ulo. Tapos ako nakahawak sa hips. Tapos, yun. Bizarre ba yun? Siguro yun na. And I think, Cito, that's what's exciting about my life now as an actor. Marami pa nga mga bizarre roles na hindi ko pa nagagampanan. Para sa akin yung pinaka-bizarre na yung cow. I played the cow.
Okay.
A mascot.
Okay, now going back to the movie Triangle of Sadness. Okay, what what part of that entire process, that 4-year journey, is the most memorable for you? Or I mean, not to be cliche, no, but 4 years, I'm sure you went through so many emotions, so many doubts, aspirations. What was the one thing that if you didn't get paid, at least you got that?
You know what? I really think that that whole journey, the most unforgettable was at that point where I didn't even know kung matutuloy pa siya. Yung nandun
Mhm.
na ako sa point na baka hindi to matuloy, baka hindi mangyari. And that really, it kind of, it humbled me a lot kasi I kind of had a feeling na this was it for me. This was the film that would really, you know, make the world see what I have to offer, or it was an opportunity for me, for the world to see what I can do. Pero dumating yung point na parang hindi na siya matutuloy kasi nga dahil sa COVID and yung funding din ng pelikula, nahihirapan sila maghanap ng funding. So I think that's one thing that's for me that's priceless, because that teaches me humility and patience in sometimes it pays to wait for the right time and for the right things to happen, and that we need to really work I need to really work hard to get to where I want to go, and wanting it right away is not the way to go. That's another thing in our industry. People, a lot of actors tend to really get what they want in a snap, at a very young age. They get lead roles, they get really good roles, and they do it with not much of an effort. But to me, it's priceless when you really work hard for it and you sacrifice a lot to get there, kasi mas masarap yung feeling pag nakuha mo na eh.
Okay, now you said this, you realized that this could be your breakout role. This is what would put you there out in the world. When the movie came out, when you saw it on the screen, were you like, Dolly, be proud of yourself? Or, oh, why did they cut this? Or why do I, may mga ganun eh, di ba?
Both. Naku, ang daming mga eksenang kinat. Both. Ako talaga, teka muna, ba't parang wala yung ginawa kong ganito? Gustong-gusto ko yun Or yung itong eksena to, parang ganda. Both. And at the same time, it was also tama lang kung ano yung mga pinili niya na ikat. So, I was both proud and a little sayang sana he kept this scene. But kasi his first cut was umabot ng 4 hours and a half. So, okay lang yun. Na kung ano yung man choice niya, it was all for the best because I'm so proud of the outcome. I mean, this film is just one of the things I've done in my whole career that I'm so proud of. And I just want everyone to watch. Sana mapanoorin ng mga kababayan natin. Kasi all around the world, it's doing so well. Pero in the Philippines, hindi pa siya nag-open, so hindi pa natin alam. Sana it's well received rin.
Pwede ba pakilagay na lang sa Netflix ng madali? Kahit na
Ayaw
mag-binge
niya
watch pa ako.
Ayaw niya ng ganun. Alam mo, lahat ng pelikula niya hanggang ngayon wala pa rin sa Netflix dahil hindi siya naniniwala sa ganun. He believes that every film should be enjoyed in the cinema with a huge
but
audience.
apparently he has not been to the Philippines and he does not understand the context, culture, and the industry in the country. Okay, now, quick question lang daw. Ito, medyo kinukulit ako dito. What is your take on what is your position on the ban or not to ban K-drama raw? Pasensya ka na, talagang parang long shot eh. Pero yun ang tanong.
I like this question. I like this question a lot. The problem is, I think that one of the reasons why any human being who is going through life, learning and navigating through life, one of the hardest thing is when you're living in a bubble and you're limited by your knowledge of what's going on around the world. And I think that Korean soaps and Korean cinema films are a good example that we need to set on our viewers and our filmmakers to show that we can do this. And you know what? I can't blame our filmmakers rin kung ba't hindi natin ginagawa yan. That's because we lack funding from the government. And in Korea, they are funded by the government. And if our government provided more funding, but thanks to our new chair, Tirso Cruz III, nagdagdag na siya ng pondo para sa Cinemalaya. Pero sana, mas madagdagan pa, not just for Cinemalaya filmmakers, but for other independent filmmakers so that we can come up with better work. Because the reason why the films are so excellent in Korea is because they are provided budget by the government. And I think it's a cop-out of our government to say na i-ban ang Korean films and soaps because they don't wanna fund them. Kasi bakit? Konti lang ang kikitain nila eh. Sorry, calling a spade. Pero that will not help our industry. It will not help us to become better filmmakers if we block our viewers from watching excellent entertainment.
Okay, the issue has always been raised before. Kahit gumawa ka ng 1,000,000 magagandang pelikula, kung may kartel naman sa sinehan, walang mangyari. What's your reaction to that?
Cartel sa
Yeah.
sa cinema?
Yeah,
Sa cinema
meaning,
natin?
you know, many of the movies can't be placed unless it is approved by a certain group of people or a certain circle of cinema, movie house owners, etc.
Well, at the end of the day, it is a business, right? I mean, the cinema owners, they have to, they have to keep the business running and make sure
Yeah.
that the audience is watching and paying for the tickets. And again, I can't blame them. So the only way that we can improve the viewership is by upping our game and providing better entertainment to our viewers. The problem is kasi we dumb down our audience. We think that they're dumb enough to want mediocre entertainment, but they are actually hungry for meaningful entertainment. Take case in point ang MMFF. There was one year when yung buong slate ng MMFF, ang gaganda ng mga pelikula, yung buong lineup nila ang ganda-ganda. Yung year na yon. And ang lakas ng following. Syempre, hindi kasing lakas ng mga usual moviegoers because, kumbaga, habit na yan every year. Alam na ng mga tao, ay, MMFF, pag pumunta ka doon, ito ang i-expect ko. We just have to, get them used to the new way that, okay, if we're going to offer you a different slate of films, and those people, believe me, oh my gosh, mga kababayan namin are so hungry for quality entertainment. They're just waiting for it to happen. And our Filipinos are intelligent. I mean, come on. We need to give them what they deserve in terms of entertainment. Let's not underestimate them. They deserve better.
Okay.
And if we put those quality films in cinemas, mandaming bibili ng ticket.
Okay.
At hindi magsasara ang sinehan.
Okay. Well, Dolly, please give me a buzz when you get back to Manila kasi we have to do a part 2. And in the meantime, we're praying that you get all the accolades, you get the recognition, and you do us proud. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on Agenda, and God bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Cito, and God bless you on Agenda. I will definitely give you a buzz. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, yan po mga kaibigan. Remember the movie Triangle of Sadness, Dolly De Leon, and I do hope that they win all the awards. Meantime, let's do our blessing for the week. And it goes, okay. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him. Okay, this is just a reminder to all of you. Please bless your loved ones. Pray for them as I reach out my hand to you in blessing. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining us this week and this day, and see you tomorrow, God willing. Have a great day.